Hello there, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Last week's video going over the broken and overpowered star cards in Battlefront 2 seemed to do really well, so we're going to keep going with that trend. Today's video is all about star cards that you want to use in lightsaber duels. A couple of these might be repeats from that first video. If you missed that one, I'll have it linked below in the description. But all of these cards are super strong, their effects are great, and if you're doing 1 versus 1s in Hero Showdown, these are the cards you want to be running. It would be great if we could have these in real life to go hand in hand with today's video sponsor, but we'll just have to use Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something and pretend. Time to duel! That's right, guys, Lightsaber is back, and they are running a huge Black Friday discount on their website, 30% off store-wide, and you get a free display stand with the purchase of any lightsaber. Lightsaber makes super high-quality, dueling-grade lightsabers. You can actually smack these against each other and not have to worry about them breaking or damaging or anything like that. They light up, they've got the movie sound effects, they do everything those professional lightsabers do, except they don't break the bank, which I think is the best part. The saber hilts also come in many varieties and shapes and sizes, so you can find the perfect one that fits and works for you. This Black Friday discount is going on until November 31st, so you have 2 more weeks to take advantage of this. Don't forget to use my code STAR at checkout for an additional 10% off your purchase. That's 40% off total. Is that Santa I see or just Lightsaber? Hit these guys up, get your new blades for the holiday season, and tell them the Star Bazaar sent you. And now, let's check out these star cards. First up, we have Darth Maul and his star card, Lightsaber Defense. This one is really interesting, and I wanted to talk about it first because the text is actually really misleading. At epic level, the card says that it grants Darth Maul 16% damage reduction against blasters, and the way it's worded, it makes it sound like that's just a static thing, almost like a passive. He's just got 16% damage reduction against blaster fire, but that's actually not true. The damage reduction only kicks in when he's doing his spin attack ability. On top of that, it also gives him 60% damage reduction against melee attacks, so lightsabers, and it doesn't say that anywhere on the card text. This is either a bug in the function of the card, or this was intended and they just never updated the description for it. Either way, this is a fantastic card for Darth Maul. If you're getting into 1 versus 1s with Maul, I recommend you run this card because chances are you're going to get parried a lot and this will help. Next up, we have Luke Skywalker and the INTENSIFY star card. This one's great. Basically, the longer the duel goes on, the stronger Luke gets. For every 200 damage he inflicts to villains, he gets 2 extra damage on every lightsaber hit. 2 extra damage might not seem like a lot, but it does add up, and it caps out at 36, so it doesn't get too busted, but 36 extra damage per hit, you're looking at about 180 damage per strike, and that is a lot of damage. This card makes Luke a great counter to the tankier dark side characters, like Vader or General Grievous, who do get harder to take out as the duel progresses. INTENSIFY kinda acts as a natural counter to that. Next up, we have Rey stealing the spotlight once again from literally everybody. These next 3 cards are specific to just her. The first one we're going to talk about is Focused Sight, and what this card does is it increases the duration of her insight ability by a total of 7 seconds once it's maxed out. Insight is already one of the strongest abilities in the game. It doubles her stamina, it increases her damage, and it takes her off the minimap and reveals enemies on her minimap. Wow, it literally has 4 effects. That just kinda hit me. That's nuts. So yeah, Focused Sight makes that last 7 seconds longer. There's also Damaging Strike, which increases the damage of Rey's dash strike. Pretty self-explanatory, but the dash is a staple ability in lightsaber duels. You're going to be using this ability with Rey so much, so being able to dish out extra damage with it is huge. The fact it knocks the enemy down and sets them up for additional follow-up attacks, it's great. You're going to want to use this card for sure. And wrapping up the spirit of buffing Rey Bebe, the last card is Balance, and this one could also be applied to Han Solo, but Han Solo doesn't use a lightsaber. This card is what gives Rey the extra dodge. 3 dodges in duels is huge. It's why Dooku is already on a level above everybody else because of that 3rd dodge that he has naturally. This card will give Rey the 3rd dodge at the expense of some stamina, but you've got insight for that. Doesn't matter. You're not losing anything. Following Rey, we have Master Yoda and the Agility star card. You know, I didn't give Yoda enough credit. I have a duelist ranking video, and I put Yoda down at the very bottom. I still kind of stand by that just because his attacks are really slow and he's easy to parry, but the Agility star card makes him a lot better and probably brings him up a couple of notches. This card just gives him 1 additional dash attack, but the fact that dash can go through blocks makes this a game changer. When you've only got 2 dashes, it's a lot easier for your opponent to read where and when you're going to use them. So if you have that third dash just waiting in the wings, you can bring it out when your opponent is least expecting it and keep that pressure up. The next 2 star cards go to General Grievous. These cards are great in duels. The first one is Cowardly Retreat. This card will grant Grievous 90% damage reduction while he's using Claw Rush, which is huge because players have caught on to the fact that Claw Rush can be parried. You can hit Grievous while he's Claw Rushing, and he can't really do too much about it unless he pulls a 180 and tries to knock you down, but even then, you can still block it. That's where Cowardly Retreat comes in. If your opponent is trying to hit you while you're using Claw Rush, those attacks will bounce right off. That's 90% damage reduction we're talking about. Add that to the damage reduction that you get from the next star card we're going to talk about for Grievous, and you're looking at a tank. Flesh is Weak is probably the best star card in the game, and yes, I know it did not make the list of my first overpowered and broken star cards video. I just needed a number 1 slot for the part 2, which is still coming. Spoiler alert. But Flesh is Weak is absolutely insane. For every 10% of damage that Grievous takes, he gains damage reduction at the cost of his health regeneration speed being halved. Basically, the more hits he takes, the more hits he needs to take before he finally goes down. This card will grant 5% damage reduction for every 10% of health lost, so at 50% health, he's sitting at 25% damage reduction. At 90% health lost, he's sitting at 45% damage reduction. If you ever encounter a Grievous and you have a really hard time finishing him off, it's probably because they're running Flesh is Weak. Next up, we have the runner-ups for the best dueling star cards in Battlefront 2. These 2 cards belong to Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, or them both if you want to consider them the same person, but Anakin Skywalker gets Tenacious, Vader gets bonus health. They both do the exact same thing. The first one gives Anakin 100 extra health, and the other one gives Vader 150. Vader's is technically better, but it just means that both of them can tank 1 additional lightsaber attack, which is pretty huge in duels. Vader can technically tank 2 additional attacks with that health boost because of Furious Resilience, but Vader's just on another level. Before we talk about the best dueling star cards in Battlefront 2, we have a couple of runner-ups. First up, we have Berserking Tantrum for Kylo Ren. This one flies under the radar. This gives 20% stamina boost to Kylo Ren's lightsaber attacks specifically. So it doesn't boost his blocking or his blaster deflections, but when he's striking or parrying, that 20% extra stamina can really come in handy. We also have Opposing the Dark Side for Master Yoda. This card is really simple. It just gives his lightsaber attacks a little bit of extra damage per hit, specifically when he's attacking villains. So in duels, this is perfect. Moving on, we have the best star cards for dueling in Battlefront 2, and you can probably guess which ones these are since they made the number 1 slot in the overpowered star cards video. These are the health regeneration cards. Sith Control for Count Dooku, Jedi Resilience for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Beating Heart for General Grievous. Actually, both BB units also have this card, although I don't typically see them being used in duels too much, so I didn't include them. Leia has this one too, actually, fun fact. But being able to get your health back in duels is huge. It's the number 1 priority, really. Obviously, if your health hits 0, you lose, so being able to recover is important. Obi-Wan Kenobi's the best at it, being able to get back 400 total health, which is absurd. Then you've got Count Dooku and General Grievous right after him. Don't sleep on these cards. If you use any of these heroes that can run them and you're not running these cards, you might want to look at your loadout and consider which card you want to swap out for the health regen card. If you want, that's just my recommendation. You can play however you'd like though. But that is it for the best star cards and lightsaber duels in Battlefront 2. Thank you all so much for stopping by the channel and checking it out. If you guys liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it that thumbs down to let me know. But more importantly, leave a comment down below and let me know which star cards you like to run in duels. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay in the loop with all things Star Wars gaming, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell next to it to get notified. One more big thank you to today's video sponsor, INTENSIFY. Don't forget to check them out and take advantage of that Black Friday discount. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate you all stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.